Hello Dragos, hello Harbour Master J, thank you for joining today. Yes, we're doing a live stream, and if you're watching this on demand, thank you very much for joining, and thank you for those that are able to tune in today. So, what is the 1 hour challenge? So, City Planner Plays just put out a new map, a new video, explaining pretty much everything that you need to know, and anybody can play the challenge. There's no mods required. All you need to do is be able to have access to the PDX mod store and download his custom map, which I think is called, I can't remember, it's called like Rock Island, I think. And the rules are pretty simple. You have 1 hour to build. You can build anything you want. No disasters, with the money and the budget enabled. No mods, except for visual enhancing mods. And we do have a few visual enhancing mods on this one. You can see we've got the visual water tweaks and Lumina. And I also had simple mod checker, just because it's always a pretty good idea to have that in your playset. And additionally, you can also play with official asset packs. So we've only got one asset pack at the moment, which is the French one, but I'm sure as they start to come out week after week, we'll be able to have more and more interesting builds. And additionally, I think the twist that City Planner Plays has given us for this is that it needs to attempt to look attractive and interesting. You can't just start spawning or building large grids, hoping to hit high density and just have a disaster of an island. And then in the end, I think there's going to be a voting, a competition. So if you're going to be playing along with this challenge, please do check out City Planner Plays channel for all the information, and I think you'll be able to submit your map, your build on their Discord channel, and I think you've got a chance to win some Steam vouchers if I'm correct. If I'm incorrect, I'm sorry, City Planner Plays, for making that false promise. But yeah, no, I'm really looking forward to this, and I thought I'd try out doing a live episode for this, just so that you get the full experience of me panicking trying to build something. So I appreciate you joining me today or catching up later on. So thank you. Hello Alfred, and hello Nomi, thank you very much for joining. And yes, I imagine I'll be humbled as well, Alfred. And I'm not sure if this is going to be my only submission. I wonder whether it'll be worth coming back to it again in the future. So let me just exit the camera mode and just give you an overview of the island. So we've got it paused at the moment. I think it's okay to have a little bit of, what's the word? Recanance? Oh, I can't get that word. You know what a spy does? You know, they're going to check it out, see what the lay of the land's like. I mean, I've already been checking the air pollution. Looks like we've got to keep a lot of the industry if we want any on this side of the island. Ground resources, farm everywhere. But what I'm interested in, if we hide the land fertility, these ore deposits. Look at this. We've got this beautiful ore deposit here. And if I remember correctly, the coal specialist industry has quite a large employee number, so we might be able to take advantage of that to boost our employment figures at least. But other than that, there's not really a lot else to see. And there's clearly a shipping path over there, but I'm not sure if we're able to connect to it. No, not without buying at least one tile, and that would be quite expensive, I imagine. There's a little bit of a connection over here, but again, I don't think we'll be able to hook up to that. And the island is super bumpy. Oh, evening, Pekana. Dragos, nice to see that big waving hand in the emojis. Thanks for joining. So yeah, we're going to start shortly, and just to give you some reassurance in the options, this is all the mods that we've got at the moment. I think the music volume should be okay. I've got this down to as low as 4%. This is silly. Having it 100%, it just deafens you. But yeah, we are live, and there may be issues. I might have a dog barking. I might have to suddenly go answer the door for an Amazon delivery. Hopefully none of that happens. Okay, I'm going to switch over to OBS, my streaming computer, and then we can start to set up the timer. And it's 1 hour, and it's going to be in the bottom corner. You can see it's already set to 0. And yeah, let's go. And if I'm not as interactive in the chat, I do apologize, but feel free to leave a comment and I'll try follow along when I can. So 1 hour, let's get going. All right, let's set the sim speed to 3 and let's get some roads down. So we start off down here. Actually, can we do landscaping first? Yes. So this map is super bumpy, so I'm going to be a bit cheeky and flatten it out just a little bit, just to make our lives a little bit easier. Let's set the strength down to 20 and just give it a few gentle taps here and there, and that should help. That, oh, I'm using the wrong one already. Oh no, I was using just the flattened terrain tool. I want to be using the softened terrain tool. Okay, that's okay. I don't want to completely change the look of the island. I think it's quite nice later on to be able to compare what everybody has done with their builds. My first thought when this challenge came up was just to flatten the whole thing and just create a big square, something super boring but super efficient. But I don't think that would do well in the aesthetic side of the challenge. So I'm gonna try and aim the main town on this hillside here. So let's start sticking some of the main roads in, and I want to make this fairly organic looking. I've been watching some of Silveret's City Skylines 2 videos. I've always been a fan of his City Skylines 1 videos, especially his Dutch build. I think that's absolutely stunning. But he does a really good job at building cities from afar, you know, so he's able to kind of create a nice organic looking city, not necessarily putting all the little details, but creating beautiful road networks. So I see there's a hill here, so we could probably squeeze another road down the back. And I want to imagine what the main route would be. There's quite a steep cliff here, but this looks like a good way up to me. And let's... And I've already created a dodgy looking road. Let's go straight out here just a little bit. And then... Alright. I'm panicking now. Panicking. Let's just use our straight road tools. I want to create a few straight segments. This is what I did in a little practice run. And then I connected them all up. So using the complex curve tool, we can create some nice connections. And I imagine most people will be creating their cities in a similar spot to what Phil did in his videos. So I'm trying to do something a little bit different, just to get those extra brownie points, you know, for some sort of creativity. Not absolutely necessary, I know, but Really do need to start getting some zoning in soon. Okay, we need to get this up here plugged in. Okay, and then I want to have a little bit of a grid structure up here. This is where the bulk of the town will be. I'm not sure I'm going to be using regular industry. I think I might rely more on the farming and the coal, as I mentioned just before the start of the countdown. Let's see if we can pull that in here, make that nice and interesting. And then that's looking a bit skew width, but we can pull that through, make a crossroad, and then let's link these up here and pull that out. And I think we're not going to get a nice smooth grid for placing buildings next to each other, maybe in a few sections here, but for the most part I think there's going to be lots of little gaps that we probably just need to fill in with trees. And if this was just flat land, you know, I would just use the grid tool. And I'm probably creating a monster of a main road through here. So we probably want to connect these up just so that there's an alternative way around. Alright, we've got to put something in. That's connected, that's connected. Let's start with some homes. We're using the European theme. I selected that when I first created the map. Hello Dalton, thanks for joining me. And yes, check out the challenge video. It's definitely worth giving a go. Should we try and make this pretty by having a few gaps? Oh, I don't like that road that's finishing like that. Let's pull that out. Yes, I know you haven't got any power yet, so let's put some windmills down. Just at the end here, I think. And we'll just chuck these underground just so that we're not running into them later on. And for the water, do we want a water tower? Do we want a pump? No, we probably want to go for the tower. Let's go for this French one. I've not actually tried any of the French assets yet, so this is quite exciting. Let's imagine we're gonna have like a park here perhaps. Does this need sewage as well, or is it just a water connection? Oh, we'll just connect both for now. And let's add just a small little lane. It's not connected? It's connected. Oh, and gotta rename your water service roads. I always feel like that's a must do. And this could also handle sewage, right? Right? Yes. Okay. Should I just do it? Yep. Let's not hit that park. Right. This is a method I learnt from a very early infrastructurist City Skylines 2 video. Paint the base layer, and then you can come through afterwards and just go over the top of what you don't need. And we'll do that here. So we'll get all these single family homes in first. Try to unlock. That was a work email that just came in, so I'll just mute that. Okay, let's get some stores in. So yeah, this is probably going to be the little high street here, which we've got named Fawn Street. And let's get lots of different sizes in. Again, this is as much a aesthetic challenge as it is a population challenge. And do we have specialist industry? Yes. Okay, let's stick a farm in. And where do we... Let's put a farm behind these houses here just to fill in that space. And I can't see the edge of the boundary box. Let's leave a little bit of space to put some trees in there. Oh yeah, I can see it. It's over there. Let's make this a nice rectangular shape. And do we want to put a little stone mining place in straight off the bat? I'm not sure these people actually hire that much, but we can just put a small quarry out here. And it's quite difficult to see. I can't see any contour lines. Okay, we've unlocked stuff. But we need to connect this up. Let's grab the gravel road. And the problem with these is you need to connect it up with both of the entrances if the asset has it, because otherwise those delivery trucks just don't come out. Goes in here. Lovely stuff. Alright, what did we unlock? Milestone, tiny village, so we got the budget, taxation, row housing, that's great. Let's... What farm did I put down? Grain, okay, let's tax grain. And we'll probably get some cotton as well, which is here. And for people, let's bring their tax down to 6. Set that to 8. Okay, row homes. No, I don't think Dragos there's any issue with this handling both sewage and water. I think the main issue will be making sure that it's serviced with a landfill. But I do wonder, can we connect, use the external services? That's milestone 4, so we'll have to use a landfill for now. And let's stick this down the hill here somewhere. Maybe we can pretend there's some sort of garbage barge that comes and collects it. So let's create, I don't know why I'm attempting to do this right now, but let's create an industrial pier. This is definitely going to make me lose the challenge. And I'm not going to do the key walls because that would be a disaster. But this could be one of the special things about the city, one of the unique qualities. Let's come over here, doesn't like that. Okay, and then let's grab the water. Oh. It just goes into the water. That's silly, isn't it? Right, let's pull that out and put a lane around it. Oh, pop music mansion unlocked. Great. Doesn't like that. We've got water nearby. Okay, great. Let's pull that in closer. And it looks absolutely horrendous. It's okay. I think that's fine. So yeah, we can just pretend there's some sort of badge or something coming to collect the rubbish. Now we just need to create some sort of switchback for this hill. How low can we go? Not very low. Okay, we're just about to hit ground. And let's pull that in here. And then we'll have another road that goes along here. Add a roundabout in, make it feel like it was always there. And then we need to connect this up. We can use a complex curve tool, find a midpoint a third the way across, stick that in there, and then that is not yet connected. Let's figure out what a good road for this to connect to would be. I think there's a dip here, so we could go around there. Sorry if the camera angles are a little bit fast and erratic. First of all, I'm not usually one to live stream, and second of all, I'm not usually one to play fast nor play challenges, hence why I usually play City Skylines 2, because it's a very slow and relaxing game where you don't have to panic during. But for some reason I've set myself to get a little bit hot and flustered today. So yeah, that's looking good. Okay, so let's grab those row homes. And we do have some French ones, so we can mix some of those in. There's a lot of areas that are yet to be developed. And yeah, kind of just mixing these in again, so to create an interesting fabric of buildings and the landscape. And I typically have quite messy looking cities, but messy in a sense that someone came along and probably built some development here, and then another developer came along and developed something else over there, and then over time it's a patchwork of individual people's ideas, thoughts that come together and create a really nice looking city. And that's the idea anyway. And let's mix in some of the French ones as well. I know that's a store, let's leave that in. Yeah, I'm not 100% sold on my strategy yet. Okay, let's throw some more stores in somewhere. We've got some areas that have yet to be developed. We could use those. And we probably need to have a small industrial area. Just a little one. I mean, we could potentially have a few little units down by the harbour, at least. Yeah, let's put a few down here and make sure we actually connect it up. Industry. Okay. That's going to look terrible there, but it's okay, I think. Okay, let's see what we've unlocked. Another signature building. Loans, textile fiber, that's pretty good. Some schools. And I can't actually see the timer in my game. What? I've used 20 minutes already by the looks of it when I look at the stream. Alright, let's stick these signature buildings down. Just so that we can get the bonuses. Let's find a nice spot that is not used very well. Yeah, I think that's quite a nice spot there. And we probably need to fix up some of the zoning at the back. With some row homes. It looks like we've unlocked medium density as well. Grab our footpath. Let's do some zone controlling. And it looks like people just want somewhere to work. We probably have quite high unemployment. 62%. Yeah, that's pretty bad. Let's get that coal mining that I mentioned at the start of the video. And let's not do that. Oh god. Oh yeah, no, that's okay. Drop the strength down. Let's have a sip of water while we do this. Yeah, it doesn't need to be super perfect. And let's find a way down. And grab that coal mine. Like I said, I think these do hire a lot of people. Unfortunately, you can't see the contour line, so it's good that we changed the landscape just a little bit, because now we can see where the edge of the pit is. And we could come around this corner just a little bit. Connect that in. And let's use a lane for this. Let's drag it out just up to there. We could add factory next to it. Bring it up the hill. Add a little bit of industry next to it, and that should provide some jobs. Okay, so did I finish putting all the industry down here? Did not. So let's put a little bit more. And then we'll get some farms in as well, I think. Since they tend to make quite a bit of money. Let's have a look. We want to use some lanes for this. And that covers quite a nice area. $39.21 left, thanks Picana. Although I think the time is a little bit delayed on YouTube, so let's get some places to live nearby this. And a couple of shops. And even a couple of industrial buildings as well. Yeah, I think this is going to be a really good way at filling the island. We do have lots of dead people and sick people increasing, and we could potentially have a look at putting a clinic in. So the cheapest one is the small medical clinic. We could put this on the high street here somewhere on the side. Yeah, I think that's okay. And we can turn the budget down because we don't need it all the way up. Do we need death care? That's the question. We could have a cemetery. How much do these cost to run? So it is slightly cheaper. It's the cheapest to get the French one, so we could unlock the crematorium from the development tree. And that will allow us to build this tiny little fella. And let's get it next to our little signature building. I think that'll look quite nice. And we've unlocked something else. Fire rescue, firehouse, and small police station. I don't really care about most of that, but I'll tell you what I do care about is a firehouse. Because if a fire rips through here, then yeah, we'll be pretty done for, to be honest. And where's going to be a good spot? Where's it going to get the most access? Maybe somewhere along here, isn't it? But then if there's an accident, maybe we do keep it in the town. This corner looks quite inviting. Yeah, I think that's okay. Yeah, it's coming together quite nice. I like that organic shape, and I can see the town expanding this way a little bit. Connect it up here. And we've got a little bend in the road here, so I can imagine maybe they could come around there, stick a roundabout in. Yeah. Okay, let's put a few more homes along here. Now I did notice that we were getting a lot of the same building model, which I don't really want. So let's just randomize the size of these lots a little bit. And then we can even throw in some row homes. You typically get a lot of row homes, especially in British villages, where the area around the main town square was fairly dense. People didn't really have any way of getting around, except by foot. Okay, so we probably still really need to increase jobs, so I'm gonna put down another farm. I'm gonna fill this whole area down here with farms, I think. Let's grab our lane and a couple of roads in. It is giving me anxiety, Picana, and not really being able to keep an eye on the chat as well is extra anxiety, because keep on checking the population, and it is going up, but I'm worried I'm not going to be... See, look, I just went into the development tree and I'm just vomiting words out. I want to get road services, I want to get highways, I want to make this area pretty. So we've got those. Let's grab the highway road, and I'm going to upgrade it all the way into town, I think, just to this one, and that'll help people move around a little bit quicker. And then we can upgrade this road in between the pit and the city as well. And yes, of course, it doesn't carry water. And these are not going under the road, I'm so sorry. And yes, power. Follow the same technique. Alright. You haven't got anything either. Let's connect you up using a lane, actually. And there's a bit of a steep hill there. That's fine. Okay, that should connect up. Let's go down to a lower level, a lower elevation here, and have a smaller country road, which could have been maybe one of the first roads on the island, so we can start to maybe develop a couple of little villages and shops along there as well, and then we'll have that come in. Now, we do have rail on the map. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to put that in. Oh my god, please connect. Why is this not connecting? Okay, so my idea for a unique element ringer is I'm trying to create an island of agriculture. I think that is something that worked really well on my main series with the farming. It creates a really beautiful backdrop to any town or city that you've got, and I think if I can cover the area in as many farms as possible, that should give it a unique look and feel. And there's not much to it than that. And we are going to need the larger roundabout. I think we could use the small one here, but that gives a couple of ways into town now. So if there was ever an accident on this road, people can always go the other way if needed. Okay, so we still need to have a ton of farms, because we probably don't have... Oh, didn't we unlock a mansion? Yeah, let's put you in here somewhere. Let's put you at the end of this road, shall we? There you go. That's quite nice. Textile fiber. Let's put some farms down here. And yeah, I need to make sure I've got enough time. About 26 minutes. Enough time to put in a bunch of trees as well. Finish off all these areas. Give these farms some nice hedgerows. Getting to 10k though, I mean that's going to be a challenge. And it wasn't even like City Planner Plays was really rushing. I felt like he was so chilled out in his stream or in his video. I know that he edited it a little bit, so it wasn't a full hour in video. It was sped up. I think it was only about half an hour long in the end, but yeah, I don't know how he kept his cool, because I don't feel like I'm doing very well as a live streamer right now. And I'm definitely not doing very well as a video presenter either, so I appreciate everybody who's tuning in and bearing with me. It is very much an experiment, this. Looks like we're out of power. And then we can add the upgrades to these as well. Money's doing okay. We haven't got a school. I think I'd like to add at least one elementary school. This is quite a dense looking school, isn't it? Let's add that on the high street, with a row house next to it. Yeah, if that will grow. I don't know if it will grow. Haven't really got the demand for it. Probably do need to put down some more industry. So let's put a few little pockets of industry where we've got availability of land. It's a very hilly map, but we could still get a little bit down here. Definitely not gonna have enough time to put all these farms in, but I will try my best. Let's put a frontage road along this. With a few entry points. And I might just connect this one down here as well. Okay, and then that should carry the water all the way from up here, which is good. Let's get some more of these cotton farms down. Hello JLA, thanks for checking out the notes. Yes, we're trying to do City Planner Plays Population Challenge, but the twist is you have to make an interesting city. You can't just spam. And at the moment, this is my first attempt at doing a rural farming island. It's not doing very well at the moment, but I'm trying my best. Oh, what we got? We got low rent housing, buses, and some parks. We should put some parks down because that should help people level up. Let's just get the little playground, I think. And then we've got this big park here I'd like to do something with. Yeah, let's use the plaza, shall we? This overlay is very annoying. Okay, and while we're here, we may as well just make this park pretty for the challenge. Get rid of the trees. And let's draw a path around here. Let's grab from this corner. Some crazy shapes going on there. I can live with that. Do we get gazebo? We can. Don't need to paint them down like a brush though. And then we can get a couple of seats in. It's a shame that these are all grey in the vanilla version of the game. That just finds that I find that a little bit of an oversight when they added them into the free update. Because unless you're using the recolor mod, they're pretty pointless. Do we want to create a little Stonehenge or anything like that? One of these little goblin heads, Easter Island heads, I don't know what they are. Bit silly. And let's grab some oak trees. Let's just go for the older ones so that when we finish with the map, they're nice and big and healthy looking. Is that connected? I don't think it is. Completely destroying people's zoning. I mean, I don't know why I'm beautifying it, because if I don't even hit a decent population, it's not going to be even considered as a potential candidate for the competition, but I think that's okay. That's a nice little park, I think. Got a really big empty space over here. Looks like our zoning is really screwed up. Okay, let's get some more zoning in. And I think I'm abandoning the French assets, except for the ones that we've already got in there. And it looks like there's nothing growing here. Not sure why. Let's put in just some row homes then, I guess. So the French assets are available from the PDX mod store, so you do need to subscribe to them. But they are completely free. So we're not really getting any. I think we've probably got high unemployment still, right? Yeah, 63%. So let's reduce taxation on commercial, industry, office. We'll get a few offices in as well. Again, is there anywhere that's not developed that we could just fill in a little bit? Because there will be a few people that will be moving in from out of town that will be educated enough for offices. I'll tell you what, this is a bad idea doing this on a live stream because I can't chat to what anyone's saying. So, as I said, I do apologise for not really being able to participate as much. Oh, and if you're, I just see Dragos, you saying you play a lot of CS1. You would probably never zone industrial right next to residential, but you can kind of get away with it just a little bit in CS2. They don't mind a little bit of pollution. Okay, so I've got 15 minutes left when I've just checked. We've got loads of people moving in, and we've got demand for high density, so we could get a couple of... Oh, we've got this low rent French assets. These actually do look really nice when they're all spaced out because they're not necessarily wall to wall. Let's think about where we could build a low rent. I think this is a really good spot here, to be honest. Let's use... Let's just create a grid shape. Let's... I'm gonna pull this all the way through here. And let's create another entrance here. And I don't want this to be a rat run, so I'll move the next street down just a little bit. And let's grab the French low rent housing, and you got to space these out reasonably well. So this is 5x5. Let's just do another 5x5 here, and then we'll do, is there a 3x3 asset? I'm not 100% sure. Okay, so there's a 2x2. We could do these along here. We do another 5x5 when that's ready to pop in. And then we can sprinkle this area with some paths. Got the straight mode on. Let's have this up against the buildings. Oh, there's no building there. Okay. Building here though. Something like that. And then let's connect these up to the city grid. Okay. So that's growing in. That'd be quite a nice little complex. Let's make sure we've got a little bit of nice park space for people to enjoy as well. Go for a little playground on the corner here. Okay, and yeah, we need to get a whole bunch of farms in super quick. And well, should we get another coal mine in because that'll bring in the jobs? Let's do it over here. Oh yeah, that's quite nice. It kind of comes out of the land there. Now these actually do produce quite a lot of pollution. But the time it takes for the air pollution to get over there, it should be the end of the challenge. But these are probably built in the worst spot on the map, right next to the city downwind. Well, the city is downwind. And let's grab the road. And where do we want to connect this up? Probably need to come down this hill. Make a straight shot. Bring that in. Alright, that should connect. Need power and water. Okay, we got a crime wave going on. Stick a nice police station in somewhere. And we're completely out of money. Let's get that super cheaty loan. The city planner has suggested we get. Okay, it's not looking too bad. I think about 10 minutes left. I'm not sure if we're going to hit a higher population. I'm wondering whether we can. So what we got? We've got demand for row homes. We can definitely get a few more row homes in. But we really do need to think about maybe beautifying this a little bit more. And I think the unique element is kind of... I've kind of failed on that part, I think. I don't think these farms are really what I imagined. I really did imagine kind of covering the whole map in more farmland. So we could try get a few more in. Potentially get some bonus points for at least attempting to live out our vision. And then, yeah, we could definitely squeeze in a few more homes down here. And I don't really care if they don't have jobs, because all we need right now is just to increase our population. Oh, milestone 5. Progression panel, signature building. That means we can get more loans, I believe. Yep. And city policies, import city services. And then I'm going to turn off the police station. And what else did we have? The crematorium we can turn off. And then they should start bringing in everything we need if we don't go broke before then. And one last ditch effort, I'm going to increase residential tax just to get a little bit more money. Oh, we got the dairy house. Fun. Let's see if we can put that somewhere super quick. Because that'll provide quite a lot of jobs. So that's obviously in water. But what about down here near the city entrance? Yeah, I think that'll be quite nice here. And we've run out of water. Okay, I'm gonna just spread a bunch of trees down just so that we get a nice pretty landscape. And I've gone blind. Okay, brush. Brush strength, 100. Okay, let's grab chestnuts if there's any space. We will make space. Wild green bushes. And it's autumn. Did City Planner Plays plan this, you know, for the game to finish in autumn? I think that's quite adorable. Okay, let's put some... We need to break up the zoning down here because this is pretty miserable. And then... I'm running out of time. I don't think anyone's moving into these because they want high density, I think. Oh no, they just need jobs. And we just can't provide any jobs because I've screwed up the whole challenge. Just put a few little industrial buildings all over the map. And we could even put some offices as well on the entrance here. Look at all these people leaving town. Please don't leave, come back. It's because I've turned off these services, I think. Let's not bother with the city policies. Let's turn these back on. I think we'll be able to maybe bring some more people in again, I'm not sure. 3 minutes 45. I mean, it doesn't look terrible. It's okay. Let's put a little industrial estate out here. These don't have any water. Let's connect it up to this lane here. And yeah, we'll have a little tour of the town after we've finished everything, but I mean, it's looking okay. I think I'd rather have a bit more density. Did we ever unlock mixed use? We did. So we could put a little bit of this down here. And it looks okay. Oh, I've accidentally deleted something. Okay, I've completely obliterated the downtown by rezoning, and there's obviously nothing to attract people. I'm just going to drop everything down to 0. Can we get any more loans? Just in case. No, we can't get any more loans. That's fine. We don't have anyone moving in up here. We got the commercial. We got commercial demand back, which is good. What can we do to make this pretty? Maybe we just put a park or two down, eh? And then we can have a look around, see what our favourite areas are. But it might be worth revisiting this again in the future, because this obviously wasn't a success. But it was fun. That's what I think is the main takeaway today. I've never had to speed build anything in my entire life, except for when I moved house and we had to build all the IKEA furniture before we went stir crazy living out of boxes. That was a speed build. But what time we got? I got 20 seconds left. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna have to call it. We could potentially put a cairn down somewhere. The cairn of failure. Or maybe one of these guys just on a hill somewhere at the end of this road, judging us. Judging us for a lack of preparation, lack of planning, and just sheer panic. But visually, I think it looks okay. I think the farms ended up being okay. Let's pause it, shall we? There we go. Okay. That's the city. I might have gone over just a little bit because I didn't have the timer on my screen. But we got to a population of 5,188, if that's right. You guys might have spotted the actual number when it hit 0. Yeah, I think we could have used the some of the signature buildings a little bit better, maybe to create some bespoke looking areas, maybe like a chateau, as you said, Drigos. Or no, that was JLA. Thank you for the suggestion. Yeah, so do we get one shot at this? I don't know, actually. Might be able to have another go. I'm going to hit play because we know what. Actually, no, let me save it first and then I can submit this. I'm not sure if I'm going to have time to have another go at this, maybe offline, but I think it was quite a lot of fun just sharing this with you. And hopefully give you some inspiration of your own of what not to do. But I set out on a goal to create an organic, kind of natural looking rural island. There probably would be more development along the coast in reality. Maybe not on this side where you've got the open ocean because it would be exposed to the elements, but definitely down near the entrance to the city. I could see this being a protective area for harboring ships that are maybe needing a place of rest. So yeah, I mean, the area that City Planner develops in his video is a very natural place to put something. But generally speaking, I quite like the shape. I think the high street could have been a lot nicer built out. I think with the vanilla assets, you really do need to kind of stick to a grid in more dense areas, because we did have some issues with our zoning. They're just, I'm not sure what roads they're connected to. There's like gaps here and there. And I think if you stuck to a more rigid zoning grid, you could definitely create something a lot more diverse and dense. I mean, these French assets are pretty much made for that style of build anyway. So my favourite areas... Oh, I covered the park in trees and now it looks absolutely rubbish. I'm just going to remove a bunch of them. I liked the open green spaces. I thought that looked quite nice. Yeah, that's a lot better. Yeah, so I think the two things I like the most are the park, especially with this French water tower. I think that's quite a nice feature. Putting in a few of these little benches and paths was quite nice. And then I think the other area was probably the French low rent district. With these, you really do need to provide quite a bit of space between the assets because they do have the windows that face in towards each other, and if you have them wall to wall, that would be a miserable place to live. But when it looks like this looks like something you'd see in reality. Hey Harbour, yeah, thank you for joining. I really appreciate it. And yeah, multitasking while streaming is new to me. I've only streamed a few times, and then on top of that, doing the challenge as well is even more stressful. But no, I enjoyed it. It was fun, and we got a little bit of traffic down here. I mean, this area turned out quite nice. This could be like the breadbasket of the island. And the roads are holding up. We've got a little bit of traffic, but that's mostly just people moving in now. And I'm sure if I didn't mess around with the zoning as much, you know, rezoning, we probably may have had a more stable population. I just wanted to create that natural dense core that you'd expect in a town. Hey Dragos, I've started recording the next video of Sunny Isle, and I'm working on a small hilltop old town near the city centre using, well, I'm trying out some of the French assets, getting really close and personal with them, but I really need to see how they'll integrate into the existing city, because yeah, these at the wrong angle can look a little bit strange. They're definitely made for a grid, so this section looks quite interesting, quite nice. Even then, if you look at it at the wrong angle, they have quite large white facades. But yeah, I'm playing around with some more staircases from Harbour Master J, and figuring out what's an easier way to use them, trying to combine them with some regular pedestrian paths and pedestrian roads. You don't necessarily need to use the invisible paths when creating those custom staircases, I've come to realize, because the vanilla paths don't have any props. There's no lights, there's no benches, and that was a thing that was an issue probably in CS1 that has kind of stayed on in my mind. But being able to see the path while you're playing around with custom props, I think, is really useful. And then what I'd love to have in CS2 is an upgrade tool for the paths. I'm not sure if you can upgrade from a regular pavement path to an invisible path. I doubt it. But yeah, just playing around, just experimenting, keeping the builds small as usual. I do want to develop some larger areas to the north of the island, thinking maybe creating some sort of like holiday park, but generally speaking, just taking it easy, just doing this in my free time when I can, and enjoying the process, enjoying the time it takes to edit videos. There's a lot to learn there, and how YouTube works, and it's been a lot of fun. So right, that is as much as I can do in one session, and I appreciate everyone tuning in, those that are on the live stream, those that are on the video on demand. Thank you very much for watching, and good luck in the challenge, and have a good week. I'll see you in a bit.